the 9 heavens, that's to say, right, the sphere of the outermost sphere, and then there's another sphere within that, which is the outermost stars, and then the sphere of Jupiter and the sphere of Saturn. Now, the sphere of Saturn comes first, then Jupiter, and then Mars, and so on, the 7 planets, because this is what they can observe. We can observe, right? Here's the stars that all rotate very slowly across the sky, and they all at the same time. That's the outer stars. But then there's those 7 planets, right? Well, for them, they're stars that move in different directions and at different velocities than the rest. So there are different spheres that are moving, right? And then you have now the sun and the moon being the closest to the earth, right? And the moon being the closest to the earth, which you can see the symbolism of the moon, because down here in the world is where the things are changing, where we have matter. Like we said, something is not ever fully being or not completely not existing. It's always in this in-between state of change, where it's, you know, becoming something which it's not, it's losing something which it was, right? It's always in this phase, like the moon, you know, whenever you see the moon, it's always partially darkened, right? Partially bright, it's always, right? Every time it's sort of in a different phase, right? So it seems fitting, doesn't it, that the sphere which is closest to the changing material world actually has this appearance to it, because it's related to the material world, right? But the rest are beyond that. They're eternal. They don't change at all, right? The stars and the others. But they're bodies. They're eternal bodies, each one having a body, soul, and intellect, right? They're animals with bodies and souls and an order of existence, one higher than another, right? And the 10th, which consists of, how does he put it, the matter which is filling the concavity of the moon, right? This is the, right, what's under the moon, right? It's just us, right? The earth, all the stuff under the moon. They call it sometimes the sublunary. All right, look at that. That's pretty interesting. That's make it become longer, and it could get longer. They just go etc., you know, and so forth, because we don't have to go through the whole bit, right? But here's what happens. From the existence of the first principle, which is God, the first cause, there emanates the first intellect. Or they say, if you like to call it angel, or whatever you like to call it, that's cool. No problem about the words, as long as the meaning is clear, right? To say this is what's called an angel. This Al-Farabi will be saying. This is what's called an angel in the Revelation texts, which are meant for the average public person who can only understand things through symbols. So we say that the first intellect is an angel, right? So we call it an angel if you like. It's a self, what is it in reality? It's a self-subsistent substance, which is neither body nor in a body. It's a spirit, it's an intellect, yeah? It knows itself and it knows its cause, which is God, right? And if it's an intellect, it has to know something. Well, what's there to know? Itself and its cause, right? And from the first intellect, 3 things necessarily follow. The soul of the outermost sphere, right? The thing which moves the outermost sphere. The soul is like the soul with our bodies, right? It's what influences the body, right? So the soul of the outermost sphere and the body of the outermost sphere, which is the 9th and the highest heaven, right? So the first intellect is the intellect of the sphere. And then there's a soul of the sphere and a body of the sphere, right? Which we can see. So we can understand by thought the intellect, but we can see its body when we look into the sky. The second, and then also from that, so we have 3 things that follow from it. The soul, the body, the intellect is over here. But from that also the second intellect. A second intellect. And from the second intellect necessarily follows the soul of the sphere of the fixed stars, right? Which is the next one within. The body of the sphere of the fixed stars, which is the 8th heaven. And also then another intellect, the third intellect, which is the soul of Saturn, the sphere, right? Which is turning, which is associated with that planet. It rotates in a different way. The soul of Saturn and its body. The 4th intellect, also, from which necessarily follows the soul of Jupiter and its body. And then also the 5th intellect, from which follows, etc., 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 till we get to the moon, right? The soul of the moon and its body, and then the last intellect. So from the fifth intellect, we get the soul of the moon and its body, and then the last intellect, which is the active intellect, which is the intellect, right, carrying all the forms of all the things that could be in the world, right? I mean, right? Everything has a form. So the ideas of everything, the ideas of trees, the ideas of humans, all the ideas which give order and shape to the things that are in the world, from the active intellect down into the world, that's where the forms come from, right? The active intellect is, sending them down, giving form to things. The idea of monkey comes from the active intellect into the matter, so that we get, lo and behold, a monkey. And when we study the jungle and we find the monkey and we understand the monkey and understand the idea of monkeys, because that idea from the active intellect comes right into our mind, right? Which is the same one that was in the monkey. That's how we can explain how the world has an order. It has ideas which inform the things that are there, and those ideas also can get into our minds, and we can know them that way. Because if we know things in the world, then right, ideas in our minds have to be the same as the reality of things out there, the order of things out there, right? Which is based on an idea. It's like the blueprint, like God's blueprint is being passed down through these intellects, each one understanding it, until we get down to the earth, where the matter of under the moon is given the shape according to that blueprint. And sometimes some of that blueprint we can get in our minds, then we can understand a little bit of the world, whatever little bit we can get of that blueprint from the active intellect. Right? Okay. And we will stop there and continue this exciting story Thursday.